I've got to tell you, I said to William, if this is Zoe Modiga, I've got to go on the ride along, and I'm doing it. You remember her from that beautiful album, Yellow the Novel, and how love is what introduced her to the entire world. Well, she's got a brand new project, brand new adventures to tell us about, and a brand new show and single ahead of Youth Month, right? It's good to be excited. Come with us. We're going to have a great time.
The thing, I'll let it sink in. Hello.
You're taller than me. Just jump in. All right.
There we go.
Zoe. Put your seatbelt on, girl. Grab your hot chocolate and let's do this.
Let us go.
All right.
Let us go.
So what are you going to play for us first? Because we have to start with music, right?
Absolutely. I would like to play my first song, which is called Alone. And I think especially in the times that we're in now, where the world is just so tricky.
Yeah.
We've lost jobs, loved ones, the entire thing. I think this is a nice song to remind us that we're not alone.
Right? You have quite a spiritual connection generally, right?
I'd like to think so.
We can feel it through the music.
Yeah. I'd like to think we all come from something, if it's something you prescribe to. But more than anything, I like to see a God in each person.
Yes.
And I think it would make the world a better place if we all saw each other that way.
That's so extraordinary.
Though I'm on the brink of believing what I think, but don't want to think. So many faces, but the whole wide world feels fast asleep, while my little paper card.
I love to analyze, when you want to be in a specific job or career, and then once you're in it, some of the things that maybe take you by surprise once you're in the business. Don't look at you like that.
Ooh, child. Too many surprises here. I mean, I've always had such a deep love for music because of what it's meant to the people I've observed, whether it's in my childhood, with my family, with friends. I just love how music is the soundtrack to our lives, and I think that's such a powerful thing. When you listen to a song, it reminds you of a certain time, and obviously the business element or the music industry is an entirely different thing altogether, and there's a lot of systems in there that I don't necessarily agree with, and I don't think they do all good, and I think they can take the magic away from what music means, but it's something that we have to take in our stride and get into your lane and you do the damn thing.
So the gap between your first album and this album, people always want to know, why such a long gap? I always think artists need to live too, right? Don't you need to go live your life, have your heart broken a little bit, fall in love a little bit, write new experiences?
Absolutely.
Am I wrong? Am I right? What do you think?
I absolutely agree with you.
Yeah?
And I mean, there's certain artists who are able to release months apart or a year apart, and I think as a person who likes to reflect the human experience back to people, I need to be an observer and I need to experience it myself.
Yes.
Otherwise, what am I telling you?
Right?
That I haven't had revelations about, or at least a provoking thought about, So in the 2 to 3 years between my debut and my sophomore album, I was able to live and question a lot of things that put me in the conclusion of what my sophomore album is now,
And this connection with the youthful fairy tale that I'm sure must have been a part of your childhood. Why go there?
Yeah, the idea of calling my album album Inganekwane is just looking into the idea of black bodies and the fact that we've gone through so much as a people. You would think that we're a myth, that we don't exist. To have to take on so much and to come from different parts of the world and still have to have those same experiences, you know? So that's the little, I don't even want to say joke, but that's the little underlying commentary around this. And then Inganekwane is also a story, you know? So I wanted to share something from my perspective about how layered and beautiful we are. You know?
Are you made of magic? Because the song just came on as you started talking about it.
Wow. Lengardium Leviosa.
Yes. Oh my god.
So this song was the beginning of my second album, and Inganekwane, the song, is in my debut album. And I was feeling very misplaced about my language.
Yeah.
I was feeling misplaced about my identity because that wasn't at the forefront of my upbringing. And so when I released the song, I was honestly very mindless about it. And people would be encouraging me, from the people I was working with to my audience, like, why don't you write more in your language? And I really felt ill-equipped, to be very honest.
Really?
Which is why I think my perspective is so important, because I know a lot of my peers and a lot of people who feel like they don't represent what being black looks like. I mean, Zoe's this overly pierced person with green hair right now, you know? Surely that is a modern take on what being African looks like, without having to be anything except who you are.
Yeah.
You know?
How often do you dye your hair?
Woohoo!
Ooh, child.
So I think I'm like old school Miss Pubby in the sense that I really love having a bold, like shaven look. I really enjoy that. I think it's low maintenance and I think it's clean.
Who are you telling?
I mean,
Who are you telling?
you understand.
I know.
But you know, when I do get bored of that, I love to transform by bleaching my hair. And this is the first time I have color on my hair.
Okay.
After like a white. So we'll see how it goes.
This is so stunning. Please play me. I heard there's a new single, and it's about Youth Month. It's about the youth. It's about Incha.
Yeah. Come on, somebody.
There it is. This is it. Why Inkani? What are you talking to there?
Oh man, I'm talking to the historic element of what the youth is, especially in South Africa.
Yeah.
When we look at you know, the uprising of 1976 and that youth, and the fact that that youth gave birth to us, and just the importance of standing for something now. Pardon?
We're the direct product.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So it's like that fight and that resilience for change is still there, you know?
I mean, this is what you do. You give voice, I suppose, to what happens in your generation. One of my favorite words or historical kind of ways to describe what singers and songwriters, it's the grit, the one who goes and tells the story, reports back to royalty what has happened in the kingdom, and that's what it is that you do.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And I mean, if we don't tell our stories, anyone can tell them for us.
Yeah.
And we've seen that happen time and time again.
Exactly.
But also we get to make it real. The fact that these things actually happened. And it's a story for our kids and their kids. That, hey, konje, kwakune. You know?
What do you do for fun? What's your spark?
So I enjoy makeup. I am a makeup enthusiast. I love watching YouTube content creators and kind of melting into their personalities and all the interesting things that they have to share about their lives. You know? But yeah.
I love that.
Now I'm feeling like I'm not a fun person because I can't think of anything else.
I think that is the most fun. How much TikTok? How much Twitter?
I mean,
I'm
honestly.
there. I'm totally there. Well, I've loved chatting to you. Thank you, Zoe.
This was a lot of fun.
You're
Thank
such a
you.
darling.
Thank you.